this video, I will show you how to make a scene I call planetary geometry. The first thing I'm going to do is delete the default cube and get a camera. Press G, X, G, Z, camera view, make that 90, 0, and 90. Okay, I'm going to get an icosphere, only one subdivision, and just bring it over there. And now I'm going to edit this. Let's press tab, edit mode, and you can do this however you want. I'm just gonna go to modifiers and add a quick bevel. First thing I'm gonna do is press Shift S, cursor to selected, press Shift A, mesh, circle. Now I'm gonna just scale that up real quick. Okay, press tab, go into edit mode. So first I wanna extrude this to get some actual mesh, but I can't do that because I'm in face select mode and this is only edges. So I'm gonna go to edge select. Now, just gonna extrude that, press A, E, bring that up. Now again, you can do this however you want, but this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna press A, select, checker deselect, press X and faces. Now select random, X, delete faces. Okay, now I'm gonna add a solidify modifier, apply that, and add a remesh modifier. I'm gonna switch to blocks. And the first thing you need to do is bring up this octree depth. I find 8 to look good. You can also use 9. But there's a problem. Why do we only have this one chunk? So the reason is, it's like removing any parts that are separated, so we can just turn that off, and now we have our whole ring. Okay, I'm gonna press Shift A real quick, get a UV sphere, GX, scale, bring it over there. Good, now we're on to the rendering stage. So first thing we need to do is get some light, so click new, here's that to sun, here's that to mission, we get a bluish thing here, and I'll go with 50. Now I'm gonna click on the ring, and go to shading. Click new, and make this rings. I'm gonna get a Voronoi texture, press Ctrl T, and change that to object. Now I'm gonna connect that to base color and roughness. Okay, I'm gonna bring up my scale a little. Shift A, color ramp, put that in there. I'm gonna make this kind of a blue, make this a bit of a green. Now I'm gonna press Shift D, press delete. Okay, now finally, I can press Shift D, connect that there, color to normal, Shift A, get a bump node, connect that to height. Now the reason I duplicated this is because I want to make this a higher scale, so about 20. Now I just have the planet, so I'm going to click new, planet. I'm actually going to use a lot of the same nodes, so I'm just going to select those, do Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and now just connect them. I do want this to actually be pretty dark. I'm gonna make it far less rough and bring up that value even more. Okay. Now, finally, I'm just gonna want to add some stars, and then we'll get into some compositing. So I'm gonna switch to world shading and get another Voronoi texture. Connect the distance to color. Now get a color ramp. I'm gonna bring in the white and make the white black. Make the black kind of a bring up this scale, make that, okay, I'll go with that. Now, I'm just gonna render a frame. Okay, render's done. Now I'm going to go to compositing. First thing I wanna do is get some glare. Change that to high. I actually like to change this to 2. I think that looks nice, personally. Press Shift D, change that to fog glow. Looks good. Okay, now I'm gonna get an alpha over node, get a sunbeams node, put that there, and that there, put ray length to 1, and put that about there. So now if we let this render, you can see that they are way too strong. So I can just bring down this factor significantly. Maybe actually still a bit lower. That's good. Okay, now I'm gonna duplicate the alpha over node and duplicate the sunbeams. The reason I'm gonna do this is I'm actually gonna kind of use the sunbeams as a mask of sorts, but I am gonna bring down the ray length quite a bit. Okay. Now, you're probably gonna have to find some images online. I actually already have some. I think I like this one. Okay, so now I've got my image in here. I'm gonna put that there. And yeah, it's not really what we want quite at first. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get a color ramp. I don't remember exactly what the correct values are, but just kind of play around with these until you can make the black less harsh, and you'll start to get this. By the way, the image you want is like a lens dirt, and I'm using fingerprints. I think that's looking good. Okay, now I'm gonna get an RGB curves. Go to green, bring that up, blue, bring that up. See how that looks. So you're actually gonna want to make this darker. I'm actually gonna blur this a little bit. because I don't like that harsh line right there. I'm gonna connect image to viewer so I can see this a little better. Okay, that's looking good. I think I like how this is looking, but there's one major thing that I'm actually missing. So I'm gonna go back to layout, go to solid view, press Shift A and get an empty. Now I'm gonna select my camera, press Shift S, cursor to selected, click the empty, Shift S, selection to cursor. Now I'll just GX, filming this up. And now I'm gonna select the camera and go to depth of field, select that object. Okay, I like really low f-stops, so I'm gonna go with about 0.5, and now I'm gonna render this out again. And there's another thing I can do actually. I'm gonna get a scale. I'm gonna change these to 0.5, so that gets a little larger, and I think that looks better.